So what's up, everybody? I'm staged. Supposedly I'm in a staged lot, even though this is not a staged area for trucks, but I'm here. I'm waiting on my next load. I'm picking up a crane, and I know better than to pick up a crane, but I did it anyway. The idea of what I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to stay moving. You know, whatever I can book, I'm just booking it. So I know that times are tough right now, which is why I'm gonna go over my first 3 loads at Landstar to give you an idea of what I'm making. Now, this isn't a large sample size, but it'll give you some idea as far as the first few loads that I've picked up, you know, as far as kind of rates and just what I'm seeing out there. There's not a ton of freight out there, so, you know, I know that it's rough right now, but hang in there. This video will give you an idea, so if you like the idea of that, be sure and click that subscribe button down below, ring that notification bell so you know when the next video is coming out. All right, so what I'm about to pick up is some crane mats, and as you can see behind me, which I'll get a little bit of better footage here in a second, but they're taking the crane apart with the crane. That never made sense to me. Why do you need to, why do you need a crane to build or take down a crane? Anyway, we could get lost in that. But yeah, so I'm not getting anything fancy, just some, probably just some counterweights, maybe a piece of the jig. But this guy behind me in that really nice Peterbilt back there, he's getting an oversized, it's actually over height, over width. So he's getting a pretty cool load. It's being moved from Oklahoma City up to Kansas City. And the mileage on it is 345 miles. So on that 345 miles, now, keep in mind, this is before Landstar's cut is taken out. So the numbers that I'm giving you, just to make life easy, use 75%. Because on this load, I'll probably wind up making only like 74%, but on a load where, it was a little bit longer, so the fuel surcharge was larger and there was tarping involved, you get 100% of fuel surcharge, tarping charges. Some of these accessorials, Landstar doesn't get a cut from. And I did the math on it, I think it was like 77.5% on that load. So 75%, while you're trying to figure out quick math in your head, if you want to take the load or not, because the load board is posted pre-Landstar's cut, just use 75% and you're going to be, close enough to make an educated decision. But this load is 1100. Okay, so 1100 on 345 miles, that's pretty solid. So the accessorial on this is only fuel surcharge. So like I said, probably be about 74%. But this one, they're actually disassembling as they're loading the trucks. I'm sure there's probably not a lot of room in there. They've got us over here. We're waiting over here in this staging area, and there's curbs everywhere. And as you can see, this gentleman right here, really cool guy, he's going to pick up an OD load. Well, there's nothing that you could do. So you just have to run over some curbs, just take it nice and slow. And that, being that we're empty, it's probably going to be fine. But we've got to go a little roundabout around Oklahoma City, and then we pop up over on the other side of the road. And as you can see, yes, we're picking up at the state capitol building. It's pretty cool. This is what I love about trucking, is that, sometimes you get to see just some cool sights. Colorado State University. I actually drove onto the football field. All right, they were building a new stadium, and I actually got to drive into it. They had most of the stadium built, so it was very, very exciting for a football enthusiast like myself. So that was a lot of fun. All right, so the load right before this one, it picked up in Elwood, Kansas, and delivered like 9 miles away. So deadhead, fantastic. It was the total mileage on that one was 368 miles. Now the pay on this one was, let's see, even 1,000. Okay, the fuel surcharge was a little bit better on this one. Not sure why. I need to check into that actually, but it is what it is. The rate on this one was 1,000 for what did I say, 368 miles. So about 750 bucks on this one to me. So, you know, it was okay. It was pretty close to $2 a mile to the truck. You know, my goal right now is to just stay in this central part of the country. Right now, the East Coast is not very good. The southern East Coast is okay. And then anything west of 35 right now, well, just forget about it. And so, yeah, so I'm trying to stay here. Like I said, I don't really care how much, you know, how much I'm profiting. I care how much I'm profiting. I don't care how much I'm making per day. As long as the load makes sense, you know, then I'm gonna run it. This doesn't really hit what I typically try to do, which is I typically try to make about $1,000 to the truck per day. But you know what? It's okay. It's low mileage, and I'm saving a lot on fuel right now. So I'm spending next to nothing on fuel. So I'll take that. And so the load right before this one, but right before the Elwood, Kansas, it picked up in Kearney. Was it Kearney? Yeah, Kearney, Michigan, and ran down to West Des Moines. So yes, from West Des Moines down to Elwood, it was 171 miles, I think. So yeah, a little bit of a deadhead on that one. You know, us platform guys, we're used to bouncing a couple hundred miles for a decent load. This one was, you know, this one was pretty good. 510 miles on this one. The deadhead to this one was only 32 miles, and you'll find that out here in a second. But the pay on this one, if I can figure out how to read this properly, the pay was, and I should know this off the top of my head, right? The pay on this one was 1,500 bucks. So let's see if I can quick math that one. 1,500 is what? Divide that by 4. I can't math. I don't really care. If you care, if you want to know badly enough, go ahead and do the math. Fuel surcharge on that one was 153 bucks. So, you know, this one paid really, really well. This was mulch, you know, no tarp. So just strap and go. You know, mulch can be a pain in the butt, but this was cedar mulch, so it didn't really settle too much. It was nice and easy load. You know, whenever I got over to Lowe's, you know, there were a lot of trucks there that morning. So, but still, you know, nice and easy. They're just the way I like it. Paid really well, so kudos. The load before this one, which I do not have the details, but I do know off the top of my head, it picked up in Decatur, Texas, and ran up to Marinette, Wisconsin. Yeah, it was just inside of Michigan. Now, this was the load that I took out of the house. I had an issue that whenever I first started, I brought my Qualcomm over from Mercer, and it was actually still wired into the truck. And unfortunately, though, we were waiting for it to update, and it never updated, and that wound up costing me a day because something was actually wrong with the unit. So I had to buy another unit. Yeah, that sucks. I installed it myself though, so saved myself some money there. But that wound up costing me a day. And because of that, I wound up driving, I drove to Houston. I took care of some things, met up with my dad. We worked on a few things here and there on the truck, on the trailer, and just got some things situated. So, you know, just air leaks and stuff like that, which I fully plan on going over that video. Life is Good, Tim, he did a video on how to fix quick connect air fittings, and whenever they go bad, it's just a little O-ring in them, and so super easy fix, super quick. Check out the channel name is Life is Good. He did that video. I don't remember the video name, but I did some of that. And anyway, so I was looking at a load from out of the house. I live in the Houston area, if you don't know, and I looked for a couple of days. I didn't know that I was ready to go until the weekend. Well, from what I've seen so far, and this is just a couple of weekends, there's not a lot posted on the weekends. And so I had to wait until Monday. Monday came around, didn't find anything that I liked. Tuesday came around, and was getting through kind of the morning rush. About, I don't know, probably about 11 o'clock, I saw this load. I wasn't crazy about it, but I knew that it was getting me to, you know, a pretty good area. I just needed to get up there in the Midwest. I didn't care where it was, just needed to get out of Texas. Jeez. And it was out of Decatur, Texas, going up to Marinette. It was like 1,100 miles, I think, paid miles. Wound up being pretty close. It was well within 10%. So don't remember exactly how off it was. But that 1,100 miles, it was a 280 mile deadhead. So yeah, that sucked, but sometimes you got to suck it up and just put yourself in a better market in order to make good money. And then let's talk about the rate, because you're going to love this one. The rate on this was $2,400, and that was, you know, that's pre-discount or pre-cut, if you will. It was a tarped load, so I did wind up, I think the tarp charge was, I think it was like $100. You know, it was just 2 4-foot tarps, so not, you know, not a big deal. And then I've got the fuel surcharge, which I don't remember off the top of my head exactly how it broke down. But anyway, I wound up getting a like 19, I think it was 1960 wound up being my cut. So this is where the 77.5% came from. So I did a little bit better than I thought I did. I thought I was going to do about, because, you know, that's about $2 a mile. I thought I was going to do, you know, about $1.50 a mile. Did a little bit better, but not really too much to speak of. You know, if you get yourself in a terrible market, $1.60 for a full 2-day run, it's not horrible. You know, you got to think in terms of spot market. You know, we're not looking at the shipping rate here. We're looking at the carrier rate here. And so when you're talking about a small percentage of carrier rate, you know, that's why it's important for me to try to really nail down those direct customers. And I'm already started building some really good relationships. You know, I've got some friends that have been here. They either worked here before, work here now. They've got a lot of good connections. So I'm excited about what the future holds for me here at Landstar. As you can see, you know, the rates that I've been doing, this was, you know, those first, let's see, the load up and then the load back down to West Des Moines was last week. So it was the week before Easter, and then the week after Easter was the load down, and then this load back up. So, you know, the rates actually, even though they're absolutely in the tank everywhere else, I'm seeing some good stuff. So, you know, I've seen some other loads. I wasn't quick enough on the draw. Apparently you got to be lightning quick if you want to get a load here. So there is that. You are competing with, you know, you're competing with a lot of trucks. The idea is to create those relationships. That way, you know, you get these loads before, which actually most loads don't even, the most good loads never even touch the board. So that's the key here. At least that's what I'm being told. And I'm seeing that because 2 of the loads that I've grabbed so far never touched the load board. So that's exciting. But anyway, don't forget, hit that subscribe button if you want to find out more. You want to find out about this journey. I also do a little bit of securement here and there. Haven't done any securement in a while, but we are going to get back to that. I promise. Also, I do some vlogs, so every once in a while I like to you know, bring out the camera tricks and stuff and have a little bit of fun. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Smash that like button if you enjoyed it, but just remember, stay driven.